Hi, I'm Peter Gilroy with Bonny Doon Tools. Today we're here in our workshop in Taos, New Mexico, and we're really excited to be showing off our new mini coining dies. These dies are our version of a standard shot plate. They're a wonderful way to make your own charms, stud earrings, or decorative embellishments to add to your larger jewelry pieces. Today we're going to show you exactly how to use these dies. First off, we're going to start by making our own shot using 18 gauge wire. John Sarton and myself experimented with different sizes of shot for each and every die to get the best end result. When you buy one of these dies, it is going to come with a diagram that lists the exact length of 18 gauge wire needed to make the perfect size shot. This technique will work with any precious metal. Just make sure that the wire you get is actually 18 gauge or 40 thousandths of an inch. If it is any thinner or thicker, these measurements won't work well. We are going to make this shape here, which lists the length as 55 millimeters for this shape. First off, I'm going to go ahead and start by straightening out my wire. Using my metric ruler, I'm going to line this up at 55 millimeters. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut this end with my flush cut pliers. On longer pieces, it helps to wrap the wire around the end of some chain nose pliers. Now we're going to melt our wire into a nice little ball. First off, I'm going to start by fluxing it. And I'm going to heat it up long enough that it turns into a nice sphere. Let it cool just enough that I can pick it up and quench it. Then I'm going to pickle it. After you pickle the shot, you want to make sure to rinse it very well with clean water and then dry it off. If you don't clean all the pickle off of the shot, you can damage your die. Also, the quality and cleanliness of your shot will affect the quality of your finished piece. Now that we have the shot, we get to do the fun part. So here I have my die that we chose earlier. This is going to be best off used supported either with our monster bench block or an anvil if you have it. This fits nicely into the monster bench block, making it easy to hold and keep it from bouncing around. Our shot goes into the corresponding die, and then we have either our premium hand punch or our lightweight hand punch, which are both great options for hammering our shot down into the die. The monster bench block is a great multi-purpose tool. It's got a recess on one side that holds our die securely for hammering. Also has a surface ground finish on one side for doing stamping work, and a nice crisp 90-degree edge here for forming crisp edges in your jewelry. It weighs a massive 7 pounds, which is going to make our stamping in our die much more efficient. We have two different hand punches available for forcing our shot down into the die. These are both made of hardened and tempered steel. However, they are just a bit softer than our die, so that if they contact it, they won't damage it. Our premium hand punch is a big, hefty hand punch, has a really nice feel. Our lightweight hand punch is just a little bit smaller and lighter, works well for smaller hands, and is a more affordable option. Now we're ready to hammer our shot into the die. Now with our hand punches, these are hardened steel, so it's important that you only use a 2-pound brass mallet. First off, I'm going to put my hand punch on top of the shot, center it, and give it a light tap. This helps give us a flat and make sure everything's in place. Now I can really give it the full force. With most sizes and shapes, only a few strikes will give us the full formed piece here. As you can see, it has nice crisp detail and a little bit of a flange around the end. On some of the bigger pieces, it's going to be really hard to get the full shape of the die with just a few hammer strikes. In this case, we're going to need to anneal and strike again. All right, so first off, I'm going to flux my shot. And then I'm going to go ahead and anneal it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and quench this. And then we're gonna go ahead and pickle this thoroughly. You wanna make sure that you pickle your shot thoroughly after annealing it. Make sure that all the flux residue is gone, and then you wanna rinse and dry it really well. Again, pickle can ruin your dye, so make sure that you rinse it thoroughly in clean water and then dry it. At this point, I'm going to place my piece back into the dye. Using just light hand pressure, I wanna make sure that it gets oriented and rotated back into the proper spot. Now we can restrike this again. Since it has been annealed, we should be able to get a lot better detail this second time. And there you can see I have nice crisp edges, good detail, and just a slight bit of flange. This shows me that I've gotten pretty much the full impression of the dye. So now we're gonna go ahead and show you how to use our mini coining dies in one of our 20-ton hydraulic presses. This really makes life much easier. So first of all, to do this, we are going to be using a hardened and tempered coining punch. To install this in the press, you are going to need our master tool holder. This bolts up into the press using 2 bolts and the outside holes. Once that's secure, I'm going to go ahead and take my coining punch, insert it into the master tool holder, and make sure it's all the way up against the platen. Now, just go ahead and tighten this set screw on the front. Also have our coining punch support block. This is also a hardened steel die, and this gives us a little extra support for our die, and also it helps take up space and reduce the amount of travel we need. I'm gonna go ahead and use our number 1 die here with the star. And here's my finished piece of shot. This used a 98mm length of wire, made into a nice piece of clean shot. This goes into the die, and then I want to center my shot with the center here of the coining punch. Now I'm ready to press. Now with the press, you really don't need much more than about 5,000 PSI on the gauge. And you should get a nice, clean, full impression. At times, the shot may get stuck in the die. If this happens, I have a few ways of getting it out. First of all, I'm going to take my die face up and just firmly smack it against the anvil. I found that most of the time that works quite well. If for some reason the first part doesn't work, I'm going to next try to do this same thing but do it face down. On some pieces, if you have enough flange, you can also use flush cutters, kind of get nice tight against the die, and you can use that to pry the piece out. So if all else fails and none of the previous methods of extraction work, we have one final one. You're going to take a scribe like this, put the pointy end in the center of your piece, and gently tap. Keep tapping until your piece releases or you are able to lever the piece out to the side. All right, so over time you may need to polish and kind of refresh your dies. I'm going to do that using a natural bristle or a nylon bristle end brush like this. I like to use Dialux Gray compound. And then I'm just going to go ahead and polish the inside of the die. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and steam clean this to get all of the residue off. So now that I have my die nicely polished, I went ahead and steam cleaned it to get all of the residue and the compound out of there. I'm gonna need to oil my die. I like to use liquid burlife and a Q-tip, just 1 drop. Go ahead and get that nice and oiled. Now, I also wanna wipe excess oil out of there with the dry end of the Q-tip. So, all of the dies come pre-polished and oiled, and you don't really need to do this that often, but if you ever do see that your die is starting to get grime or residue or other stuff like that, this is a good thing to do to give you the best impression and the cleanest, shiniest finished piece. Hope you found this video useful and informative. If you have any questions, please contact us, and thanks for watching.
All right, we're rolling.
Got all week, right? You guys are here through Friday, because it's probably how long it takes. So, are a great way to add.
That's okay.
All right, hi, I'm Peter Gilroy. Let me try that again. I got a little excited about that.
You did. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
Hi, I'm Peter Gilroy with Bonny Doon Tools. Try that again.
Cool. So one more time, you said
Hope you found this video useful and informative. I forgot what totally blanked out, just like gone.
far from.
I lost a little bit of hair up here somewhere when that thing went off.
Shut off.
Yeah.
That's. Can you
necessary
pop into frame? Just.
I wish I could slide, just be like.
That works. Okay. Oh my god. Very good.
Now I'm ready to press.